Good days, good time zones, and hello, fellow listeners and watchers. I am your host, Nico Silverado, guardian of the internet and Tron VTuber, and welcome to another glorious episode of The Silver Lining with new and shiny formats and compositions. I am joined here by our amazing guest, Grim, and I am very thankful and excited to have you guys here today in today's episode. Grim, welcome to the show, welcome to the episode, and thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure, and I am excited because we had this conversation about doing the show back in like June, but I was doing the big move, and I'm like, oh yeah, we get to leave, we get to do this now. It's like, aha, this is gonna be great. But now we're here. It's only September. We're only a couple months after the fact, but now we're actually doing the show.
We circled back around. We made sure we got to it.
We back in action. But hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are newer here to the community and newer here to the show, The Silver Lining is a show where I take the opportunity to interview and talk with some of the various content creators of the internet, whether they are really big, really small, just starting out, hobbyists, and even full-time creators. And we get to learn more about them while also talking about some of the major talking points that I tend to have about the various struggles of content creation. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be later on talking about what it is with content creation and whether or not you in the audience believe that we make content either for ourselves or we make content because the algorithm tells us to make content. And we'll dive more into that later on. But first, I want to know about the amazing individual here today, Grim. And I want to know, what is Grim? Because Grim, we tried doing the getting your VTuber model on the screen here, but we had some technical difficulties because we sure did. But we got this wild PNG VTuber, and so Grim, tell us a little bit about yourself and like what your normal model is. I'll try to get a picture of it on the screen here.
Okay, so normally I'm not this weird looking with like, especially the speaking one, but it is Egyptian based. It's based on the Egyptian goddess Bastet. Then my original model was just strictly Bastet. Grim Alkin came in like the second phase of it all. But yeah, we have no lore. Everybody I talk to, I'm like, I'm gonna build lore. It never happens. I think the only lore that I have is that I suck at video games. That's the main thing. That's like the main lore of it. When I was making her, I knew I wanted the cat ears because every VTuber I saw had some type of like animalistic feature. So I was like, cat ears, and I'm gonna do the paws just for funsies. And of course, everything else came along with it. The outfit is a new adaptation. I got it commissioned. It used to be like strictly like that turquoise blue-ish green color around everything. But yeah. And I think I'm going to tweak it again, if not this month, next month, just to see what I can play around with.
For sure. So I think, so we talked about this a little bit off camera, but I believe you are officially the first guest that I've had who's actually had the ability to actually create their own model from scratch. Like, did you do it from scratch or did you have like bits and pieces?
So it wasn't like I actually modeled it physically, like, you know, drawing it out and using Blender and everything. I use, what is it called? Vroid? For like the base model. And I got like I bought like what is it called? I bought the accessories. I tweaked it because in Vroid you can tweak it, color it, add like new layers. So a lot of tweaking. I think it's one of the easiest ways to get up if you don't want to do PNG tubing, which is totally fine. Yeah. So you can fit, like, you have that 3D model, and you can really, what's the best way? You can customize it. A lot of people say you can't customize, but you can as long as you have patience.
Oh yeah, 100%. And honestly, like, genuinely, the fact that you have like a nice, like, you did a really good job. Like, I think it's really cool to see that you were able to, you know, create something from Vroid, because I remember like many years ago, 3D model, 3D VTubers were always such like a, there was always such a way you could tell someone made a Vroid model, because you know, Vroid can be as extensive or as simplistic as you make it. And you know, there's just like a way that you can see the face of a 3D VTuber and you can tell, oh yeah, that's a Vroid model. Because like, in a way, some of the like the lower effort models all look the same with slight coloration changes.
Yeah, there's a distinct look to it. I think the biggest thing is, how long do you want to take? You know, if you want to just jump straight into it, I mean, you can add like a hoodie or some other clothes and then you get started on streaming. That's totally fine. But I feel like if you really want to customize it, take a good weekend and get it done. Because a fun fact about the model was, I originally was streaming with 2 different models. I had my Bastet. I switched and recampaigned to Rana, and that's what a lot of people know me as, is Rana. And then I went back to the Bastet feel and aesthetic when I really was serious about it. And this model was made in 12 hours.
Jesus.
Of course, I knew how to like do it from previous, you know, trials, so it was easier. But it was New Year's Eve, and I created Grimalkin. Yep.
I mean, honestly, like, I think it's really cool to hear that you were able to do that in 12 hours. Like for me, you know, as a designer myself, there are certain things that come with time, effort, and experience. You know, for some people who see your model into my model, you know, it would take them like 2 weeks plus to make whatever. And it all just comes down to practice and effort. And I think it's really cool that you made that. And I think it's really cool that, you know, you chose to, you know, have that, like we said off camera, like a degree of pride that you made the thing that you represented as.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with paying anybody to do it, but I'll just be flat out. I was broke, okay? I didn't have enough money to go drop. And my siblings, they're in the industry, and they were like, oh, well, you got to get somebody to make your model. You can't make your own model. And I was like, okay, bet. I'm going to go and I'm going to do my research. And I was able to do it.
I mean, hey, and you did it well. And I congratulate you on that 100%.
Thank you. Yeah.
So what I like to do with every one of my guests here, like when it comes to like their content creation stuff. So like, first off, what kind of content do you make and where do you typically stream?
I like to say I'm a variety streamer, but I mainly stream video games. I mainly, tongue twister there. I mainly make a lot of my content on Twitch on here, but I've been kind of switching over to making more videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and TikTok.
Nice. So with you making content creation, then I always like to ask this too, my favorite question. Do you consider yourself to be a hobbyist streamer or a full-time creator in the making?
You know, that's where even I'm questioning myself. So I've run a couple businesses in my, of course, real life, and I don't see it as a hobby because I'm constantly working on it every day. Yeah. So I like to say it is kind of like a job. I see VTubing as a job, but at the same time too, I see it as an outlet to meet other people and to, you know, just have a good time and relax. So it's kind of in that middle of, you can see it as a hobby, but the work you put in, it feels like a job sometimes.
Oh yeah, 100%. So like, I guess another way to look at it too is like, do you see yourself making content creation as a way to eventually turn it into a financially beneficial career?
I think I'll just be straight up, because a lot of people say, no, it's just about the fun and the friends you make. Man, the amount of work it takes to put in VTubing, I would hope you want to get some type of money out of it or some type of gain, you know?
Get that bag.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I feel like a lot of people is like, no, I don't want to say I have no problems taking the money with it. Yes, it's fun. Yes, I've met some beautiful, nice people, and that's an add-on. But if you're gonna put the money at me and say here, then yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because like the reason why I like to ask that with all my creator friends and all the people I get on the show is because I like to try to figure out like what the mood is with content creation. Because to me, I consider myself to be a hopeful individual to eventually turn what I do now into a financially beneficial career, because like you said, the money, the time, the effort, it's one of those things where if you're putting this much effort into a hobby, you might as well make it into a job, because it's one of those things where, like, in my eyes, there's no reason not to try. You know, there's no reason not to try to make that financial gain for you. And like, what I really like about, you know, content creation for me is that, like you said, you meet really cool people, you put yourself out there. To me, content creation is like the thing that I've put more effort, time, and love than anything that I do today. And I like the only thing that I've been able to show for it thus far is like, I recently hit YouTube partner as of like,
oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I hit it like 2 weeks ago, and that was me like trying to do YouTube, like, because I've been doing streaming for about 10 years, but the last 2 years I've done YouTube, and my YouTube's finally been able to go a lot higher. And because like the hardest part for like content creators is that, you know, it's the effort and then the rewards from your efforts, especially if you put a lot of time into it. So I think like, so I wanted to talk about with like the big goal, the big hoopla with today's episode is, you know, in the world of content creation, a lot of times you get these individuals who will talk about and always say how, oh, I'm making this video today because I love this video game, or I'm making this video today because it's a really popular hype game. I don't play these types of stuff, but I need to make content that's relevant. And today's episode is more than anything, it's talking about how, in my opinion, I sometimes don't believe content creators right now are making content for themselves as much as they should anymore. And yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good. Go for it.
I think let me think. I think it is true, because like you had people like Game Plan. I know they're still making videos, but it's not like how it used to be. Like you had like, not Game Plan. What was it called? What was it with the MatPat? What was that called?
Oh, Game Theory?
Game Theory. I don't know why I say Game Plan. That's a movie, but Game Theory. I think at the beginning it was like, okay, I really like this game. I have theories about it. I know other people would like the theories, so I'm gonna put the video out. And it just so happened a lot of people liked it, so you did get paid for making it. I think a lot of times, and I'll even be honest, I have even done it, where you'll play a game, you'll make a video or whatever, and it's just because it's hot. You might hate it.
Oh yeah.
But you play it because, you know, you're going to get views off of it. It's the next hot thing. Because I'll be honest, I played, what is it called? Date Everything?
Oh yeah.
Date Everything, it was a good game. I'm not trashing the game. It is a very good game. I enjoyed streaming it because, of course, I saw everybody playing it. You know, it's a romance sim, you know, da-da-da-da. And I love romance sims. But I'll tell you right now, I haven't picked the game back up.
Sure, but did you play through it though, like more or less all the way?
No. I think I got to like the middle of the game, because of course you watch other people play it so you can kind of feel. Yeah. So I got a lot of the stuff, I played it through, but it hasn't been itching me to go back and play it that much. So I would put it at that spot of, you know, I think I played the game mainly because that's what the masses were playing. But if we want to go even deeper, I feel like that's what you have to do in this day and age, so you can be seen. Is you got to make those clips with the newer games, or you got to do those clips, you know. But I'm going on a tangent. I'm really sorry.
Oh no, keep going. Tangents are good.
It's one of those things where it's like you can play the old games, because I like playing indie games. I was playing Jane's Hotel. That's an old game, and you get clips off of it and people enjoy it because they're like, oh my gosh, I played this game as a kid, I remember. So you have like that feeling nostalgia, and everybody is yearning for some type of nostalgia, remind them of childhood, of a good time. So I don't think you always have to play new games to be seen, but yeah, I think that's something, or that's how I feel about the topic.
Oh yeah, and like it, honestly, I do genuinely agree with you, because what it is a lot of times is that, in my opinion, with smaller creators, we have to have the situation where we have to be very sensible about what we're making content of in order to obtain an initial audience. Case in point, for example, I only, like, for me, I am not a big Minecraft kind of guy. I don't play Minecraft. I don't play it very well. My wife plays it better than me, but I played Minecraft for like my quote unquote 2-week Minecraft phase. And I was getting exponential growth because I played Minecraft for like 2 weeks straight. And, you know, I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep playing this because it's where the audience is. And then I finally like weaned off the Minecraft hype, and I still have people who come in, but my viewership's not as high anymore. And it's a situation where like we have to be like, when we're smaller creators who don't have like double-digit views every single stream, we are not innately going to be involved in like high retention, high audience kind of games because people don't know who the hell we are. And like, I wanted to play Date Everything because I don't mind dating sims, but also, you know, it comes down to where do you see yourself actually making content on that, or are you just joining the hype?
Yeah, or do you just genuinely want to play the game?
Exactly. So my first question I want to kind of like shoot your way is, so like when you first were starting to like make content creation, or like, you know, really enjoying making content, were you yourself making content that you enjoyed, or were you making content that you were hoping was more audience focused, like basically playing games that you know people are actively looking for?
The first game I played ever on stream was them fighting herds. I don't know if you ever heard of this game, but it was kind of like it's kind of like a rip-off of My Little Pony, and it's a fighting game. It's pretty good though. It's a good game. I enjoy it. And I was mainly doing that because my brother, he streamed for longer than me, so I was kind of like, you know, with anything, you kind of piggyback. He's my brother, you know, whatever. So I was like, oh, I'll play this game. I know nothing about the game. I was just like, this might be something people like for me to play, you know? So for a long spurt of time, I was just throwing stuff at the wall just to see what stuck or stick. So I was playing Assassin's Creed. I was playing Hello Neighbor, you know, all these Fortnite. I was playing tons of different games just to see, okay, what makes most people come in? And then it got to a point where it's like, all right, I'm gonna play whatever I want to play.
Sure.
And you know, if they like more indie games or newer games, I'll just find more indie games to play. I'll find newer games. I'll find older games to play. But it's still gonna be something I like.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like, you know, when somebody doesn't like a game. You know when somebody does not like a game.
You can hear it in their voice. You can hear it in how they progress. Like they're just struggling through it for the content only, but they're not enjoying the gameplay.
Or like they might have thought they liked the game, or, you know, like when newer games come out or somebody suggests them to play a game, they might even come in with like the genuine feeling of, okay, this is a new game, I'm excited to try it, but they might not like it.
That's how it goes.
But then they might feel like they're stuck in the point of, okay, so I have to sit here and I have to play this for the next 2 hours and I don't even like it. I actually speak from experience. It's so funny we're talking about this. I played Motionary Assistant.
Ooh, yeah. I want to play that one. I played that game.
I would love to, I think, well, let me just finish the thought, because now I'm thinking about something else, but I thought I would like the game. I wanted to actually go into that job arena when I was in middle school. But so I was like, oh, I get to live out my little fantasy, you know, doing all the stuff. But I got scared. I was like, no. I mean, it was to the point I felt like I was gonna throw up. So I just, if you actually watch the VOD, I quickly go, because I always raid out after my stream. I quickly went, okay, love you guys, bye. You know? But I'm the type of person, I understand myself, is either I need somebody to talk to while I play the video game, or it needs to be a horror game that I can play with a friend, because it feels less realistic, you know?
Don't want to be in a dark room by yourself waiting for the shadow demons.
Yes, I don't want to be by myself, and I'm in my room by myself playing the game, and I'm like, you know? So I feel you will have times where it's like you honestly love the game. I actually want to play the game. I'm just gonna force my brother to play with me. But you have times when you honestly like a game, but it just doesn't turn out well.
Oh
And I
yeah.
feel like people should have like that comfortability to say, all right, I don't like this. I think we're gonna switch games, or this game is all right. I just don't feel like it's for me. So just change entirely.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, now we're gonna go play Devil May Cry. Yay. You know?
Good game.
But I feel like that just depends on what you build your viewers on. Because if you build, it's a slippery slope. If you build your content, I'll piggyback off what you said. If you build your content on only playing Minecraft, you can't be mad when your audience that you build up only wants you to play Minecraft.
That is fair. Honestly, it's true, but it's also a very dangerous gamble, because there are a lot of streamers out there who become one-trick ponies, where you know, it's like, oh, you play League of Legends, awesome, you have 1,000+ viewers when you play League of Legends, great, you've played it for 4 months straight, you might want to try something else, oh, your viewers have gone down to 200, and it's terrifying, because like, I don't want to ever be a one-trick pony streamer, because I enjoy the comfort and the ability to be a variety streamer. But I think it's also like, you gotta take the L's when you can, because, you know, like for right now, like I'm doing a whole Hollow Knight series sort of thing, and I have people on my audience who are genuinely not fans of Metroidvania / side scroller style games, because to them, they don't like, they feel frustrated, they get lost, and they just don't enjoy the environment of the game, which is totally fair and understandable. And it's one of those things where, like, when it comes to like making content for like your audience versus for yourself, it's one of those things where like you really can't just what's the word, you can't please everybody, you can't cater to every individual person within your audience, because unfortunately with how it tends to go is that, you know, every single person who joins into your stream and is a regular is different. You know, like for example, I posted my schedule that I'm gonna do today for my my super stream tonight, and I posted all these games, and then I got my editor, for example, he was like, so where's League of Legends? And I'm like, I'm not playing League today, I'm playing these games. And you know, he's gonna edit something weird one day in retaliation, but I digress. But it's one of those things where
it comes with the territory.
It does. And I think there has to be a fair balance, because like in my opinion, until a creator has a established audience or established, you know, group of people to help with the algorithm and all that, I think we're required as creators to stream certain ways or certain styles, because retrospect, we're not going to grow otherwise.
Yeah, I feel like you have to, especially when you first start out, you have to be open to be flexible. Like when I first started out, I only wanted since I was a young child, I played a lot of Call of Duty first-person shooters. Yeah. So I was like, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do first-person shooters. Well, that didn't turn out well, you know? So are you gonna quit? Which I did. I quit a total of 2 times. And then I came back because I was like, no, I actually like this. But are you gonna quit and be like kind of bullheaded? Or are you gonna be open to try new things, be different, you know, see what works? You got to play around.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes. You got to play around.
So do you think that in a way, like, there's a balance between creating content that makes you happy and creating content that you believe or seeing that performs well?
I think there is a balance, because once again, I can speak from experience. I did a face reveal so I could do vlogs. Because I actually like vlogging. I know it's taboo. Some people, like some friends DM me, they're like, don't do it. You're gonna be doxxed and you're gonna be beat up on this street. And I'm like, damn. No, I'm like, shit, you think I'm ugly? Like, no, but no, it's serious. Like, to be serious, I just like vlogging. I had when I was little, I used to bake. I had a baking company, so I like baking. So so I put out Coraline Cookies vlog, you know, and I don't know if it's because people think I just vlog or I just VTube with a brown skin model. They're like, oh, she's actually white or something. I'm biracial. My mom's black, my dad's white. I have obvious ethnic features, my hair and everything. So when I actually posted the vlog on what was it, on TikTok, I actually lost a lot of followers off of that. So I was like, oh no. But you know, some people, they tell you that, they're like, oh, you should never do those again. Delete your face off every platform. Just stick to what you need. You're like your niche. Just only use them all. No, I'm going to keep doing it. I put it on YouTube and I did the shorts, and I feel like it did good for the first one. And so after that, I said, okay, well, I'll just put it on YouTube. So in ways, you got to be flexible in that way. Okay, if you still want to keep your viewage, you still want to keep your followers, all right, just don't post it on that platform. If you did good on YouTube or a different platform, post it there. So you can still have your happiness or your want when creating, but you just got to know where to put it.
Oh yeah. And you know, on the topic of like, you know, doing a face reveal and all that, I think it's harder for VTubers because it's the illusion, it's the immersion for a lot of folks. Like, for example, I have a lot of my regulars who, you know, politely say, hey Nico, if you're gonna go live, let me know if you're gonna do a face cam so that I don't show up, with respect. Because to them,
my gosh, well, are you serious?
Well, it's not a negative. I didn't take it as a negative compliment, because the reason why they want it, because to me, they see my model as me. They see my character as this. It's kind of like, you know, don't put a face on the Master Chief in Halo, you know, like keep the mystique. Like they know I'm not a VTuber. They know I have a face behind the model, but for their sake of immersion and their enjoyment of my content, they enjoy the idea. They would rather
see the model.
Yeah, but I tell people all the time, I have multitude of VODs, shorts, and so on with my face, with my wife and I on the same screen. And because like I choose to be a VTuber who doesn't hide behind the model. Like if I have to do a face reveal one day, sure, but like I make it a point in all of my streams that my face is not off the table. Like I'm not going to 100% block off my identity. And yes, there are people out there who, you know, when they do a face reveal, the way that they act and the way that of the groups that they represent leads them to be in more danger because of how they are on camera. And you know, I think that VTubers should have the ability and the right to almost always be allowed to show off themselves how they want. Like I remember like when I first did VTubing for a long time, I remember that I used to think, oh, you never show your face. But then like a few months later, some of the biggest VTubers that I used to watch were like, oh, IRL stream. Oh, face reveal, selfie. And I'm like, oh, it's not as bad. Because like, case in point, for example, the streamer, VTuber, her name is Bao. She has done a lot of IRL cooking streams with her people. Former VSojo members have done face cam stuff. The VTuber named Kason, she does IRL streams all the time, and she's a very prominent VTuber. So like to me, it feels good knowing that I can make content with and without my model and still feel like people care to watch my content.
I think what came to me while you were talking, I think a lot of people say it's dangerous, which I do agree. There are cases of it being dangerous, people like figuring out where you live, you know, stuff like that. But I think it's better once you get a little bit of a footing and you start having like a lot of return viewers and stuff. I think it's the best to go ahead and do it personally, because your end goal is to grow bigger, or usually your end goal is to grow bigger. I think it's better to get it out of the way than to build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up. And like you get bigger and bigger. And sometimes when you get bigger, that's when you have like those crazier fans, or like they're more hyper, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like the fans that are like, I want to know where you live, you know?
Where's the
I think
pics?
Yeah, I want to see those phalanges. Like, I feel like it's better to just, yes, make it normal. I have a face. This is what my face looks like. It's not that big of a deal.
Yep.
You're not going to find a photo of me online and then you're like, well, I'm going to blackmail you because you don't want your face seen. No, it's right there. You can scroll through.
Yep.
I posted a couple photos, so it's no longer a big deal.
Yeah.
And we can get back to your regularly scheduled streams and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just something personally that I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I also want to do other content, so I can get that out of the way. So it's killing two birds with one stone.
Oh yeah. And cheers to you on your comfort about that, because respectfully, I always feel like for a lot of women, especially like content creators and VTubers especially, it's that fear of like showing like the difference between your model and your person.
Oh yeah, and I got anxiety posting the first video.
Oh yeah, I feel that.
I was like, I don't want to post it. What if they do me like they did Dream?
Oh my god.
I was scared. I was like, now I'm confident in myself and I know I'm not ugly, but I was like, oh my gosh, because it could be swayed so quickly. You might think you the baddest bitch on the block. I'm sorry if we can't curse.
Oh, you could.
And then like you get down the lane and it's like, actually let me hold your hand. So I feel like you just gotta be, if you're definitely not comfortable within yourself, which is totally fine, don't do it. Because you're constantly gonna be like, what did they say?
What did they say?
What did they think? Do they think something? Or like you could do your next stream and you might not get as many views as you usually get. And then all of a sudden mentally you're just like, is it because of my face reveal?
Yeah.
There is a mental aspect in it. There is a mental play. So if you're not sound within yourself, it can be a little bit anxiety stricken or anxiety inducing. So there's different attributes to it, and that's why if you don't do face reveal, it doesn't bother me. I'm not gonna be the person to say do it, post your face. It's all about how you feel.
Oh yeah. And I think so, like what happens a lot of times too is like, in my opinion, when it comes to just how the algorithm works and how the algorithm like does crazy things, I think that in a lot of ways people get hung up on the what if a little bit too often. Because like one of my biggest things is like when people ask me like, oh, how do I get YouTube partner, number one, post yo shit. Post yo videos. Because honest to God, the amount of people who just don't post because of fear, or the amount of people who don't post because they don't think the numbers are going to be there. Like when it comes to YouTube, for example, YouTube is not meant to be it's not TikTok. You're not supposed to get instantaneous reactions. YouTube is an archive that people are going to eventually discover and find stuff. Like, for example, when I was in like high school, I remember watching Markiplier videos that were like 3+ years old, and I never knew who Markiplier was. And then eventually I was like, oh, I'll see some of his more new stuff. Like, the algorithm is meant to be a long game, and that's where a lot of VTubers and content creators in general just outright fail. It's because they're not willing to stick it for the long game, and it shows. Because
I agree.
For me,
go ahead.
For me, I say this a lot. I've been saying it a lot lately, but like the lifespan of a content creator is 3 to 4 years. A shelf life, if you would.
Yeah.
And so, like, how long have you been streaming as of right now, Grim?
Technically, if we go from the first model that's ever been made, let me see. I think 5 years, 4 years, off and on.
Oh God, the expired lane. Oh God, run.
Oh my God, I'm old now. Throw me away.
Hag era, let's go.
I'm a hag. No, but in all seriousness, the reason why I stopped was because I was in high school. I was in high school, and I was in high school, so of course you have work, but at the same time too, I was like, I'm not an adult. And a lot of times in VTubing spaces, they're like, oh, well, you need to be 18 plus, which I understand. Now that I'm an adult, it's like, it's understandable. But so I weaned off of it, you know, and I was like, well, I'll come back around when I'm older. So I went back, I think, so like it was 2 years ago that a year maybe, I don't fucking know, I'm bad with time, but I really came back to it, and now it's like, okay, you know, this is perfect.
Yeah,
I'm happy. I'm more confident within myself and my work, you know. I didn't want to collab with people until I was an adult too, because you know things happen.
Oh yeah.
So, and I didn't want to jeopardize anybody. I didn't want to, you know, be in the wrong spaces at the wrong time. So I was like, okay, I understand myself. I'm gonna put that boundary up for me, and so I took off ever since.
Oh yeah. And I think it's good to see like you're able to like, you know, look at your necessities or like what you need to do, because I feel like a lot of people have this weird situation where the moment they start making content, they forget a lot of their more IRL responsibilities, you know, getting a job, getting friends, loved ones, even. Like, I think it's just a situation where people are still hooked on the dream of becoming like that big top of the line creator who's just making money constantly. And I think that for the most part, it is, I think creators are still trying to become big streamers, to become bigger creators, because the COVID era birthed a lot of new creators.
Because everybody was watching, and everybody, you know, I think, well, let me start at this point. I don't think there's a problem with people wanting to be a big creator, because I mean, sky's the limit. If you are putting in the work, you're doing the right things, you're rubbing them elbows, you're working with people, you know, you're genuine, you're not a shit person, I think it's fine.
Sure.
You know, sky's the limit. I don't think there's a problem with that. But you know, sometimes it's all right to be a smaller creator, and I don't see that as being a bad thing, because I mean, some people, they like small creators, and this is how I had to explain it to my mom, because she asked me questions about it, because she likes asking me about work and stuff. Yeah, I feel like certain people like small creators because you're not going to get washed out in chat. It's a little bit more one-on-one. It's more personable. You know, when you go in the community Discord and you say, I have a viewer, his name's Lego Roberto, he'll go in, he'll be like, I got a Dairy Queen ice cream, you know, and then when you pop up in stream, I like food, so I'm gonna think of that first. I'm gonna be like, hey, how was that ice cream, by the way? And he might feel like, oh my gosh, you remembered, you know? And that's the best thing about being a smaller creator. You know, you can have that personal relationship to a certain extent, because sometimes that's not the best thing either. But you can have like that, okay, I can acknowledge the things you say. I acknowledge like something that you brought to me, or something that we equally like. But when you're bigger, there's no possible way you can touch each person or each handful of people and be like, hey, I saw what you put in there, you know? You can't possibly do it. I mean, chat going so quick, you can't even read some things. You got to put it on slow mode.
Oh yeah. And I've experienced both perspectives, and like, you know, for the first time in my entire streaming career, I finally have witnessed what it's like to have a chat going a mile a minute, because people are having like 18 different conversations. And you know, I've learned now, I like to think that every content creator has like that golden ratio, or that golden set of numbers of how many people they want to have in a stream, to where chat's active but yet they're not losing control. Because I have people in my Discord who have DM'd me and they said, hey Nico, respectfully, I just want to let you know I have to leave the Discord, or I have to leave your Twitch because it's getting quote unquote too fast, or there's too many people doing too many things. Because like, you know, you have these viewers out there who they love and adore, not even small creators, they adore like bottom of the barrel, no, like crickets and tumbleweeds kind of creators, because they want to have more conversations with the creator versus watching the content. Because like like for me, like, you know, transparency, my Twitch is a lot of times tumbleweeds and crickets, where it's like I get like maybe 1 or 2 chatters every 30 minutes. But then if you go like on my YouTube is like 150 to 300 plus people, 300 plus chats in the span of like 20-30 minutes, because people are constantly having conversations and my chat's always moving on YouTube. And you know, I get people who just cannot handle the speed of those chat rooms, and you know, they leave because they just can't handle the pace. So the follow-up question I think would kind of go into that is there for you, Grim. Do you have, like, if you could think about it and you had 100% control on your stream, how many people would you think you could maintain and control on your stream to where you're still having fun with your audience?
I think I do a lot of collab streams with my brother, and he has to be transparent, he has a good amount of viewage. So sometimes there'll be like 50 people in there.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like that helps me have like a window in. I think I could do like 50, maybe 60 people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it depends. You know, when you're playing a video game, everybody could be like, go, or yeah, you know, so you don't have to read all that.
Yeah.
But when somebody's like, oh, today I went to the post office, you can be like, oh, cool, I had to go to the post office. You know, I'm a yapper, so I love, you can ask any family or friends, people I work with, I love to talk. So if I see something, I'm going to bite off it and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm gonna add, I went to da 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 da, or oh, I love that food, but you should really try da da da. You know, I like it because I love having that communication, having that just that community. I like it.
Yeah.
I love talking to people. I love seeing people's perspectives, you know, just being talkative.
And kind of like following up on like, you know, perspective ideas about creators. Another thing I want to ask you here is like, so if you had more control, another what if question, of course.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a creator who earns 10 new viewers a month forever as your rate of growth, or would you rather 100 new viewers a month?
Is that forever? The 100 one?
Yeah, like both of them forever.
If I'm thinking at it from a business standpoint, of course you'll go with the 100 a month. But if we're being honest, 100 people aren't gonna tune in every time.
Oh yeah.
You know, life happens. Nobody's gonna be on the floor, you know, sick, and they're gonna be, holy shit, Grim's live. Let me turn this on. You know, so I think I would do 10.
Sure.
Because then you can slowly build up as well, and you can get used to it. So if you have 10 new viewers and followers that are tuning in every time or every other time, I think that's fine. You get to know the 10 people, you know, and then you can have that strong foundation, you know. So I think I would do 10 new viewers a month or 10 new followers a month. I think I'll do that.
Hell yeah. So
I think that would be for the best.
Hell yeah. So I think like looping back over to like some of the questions then, so like with you, like, you know, with your current audience and like your current like pace that you've been able to like make with content, so do you feel like your VTuber persona has allowed you to express yourself more authentically and allowing you to connect with your audience? And or do you think like your VTuber persona in a way kind of limits what your audience wants to see?
I think it's good. I'm very transparent, and I think that's why I don't make lore either. Because I tell people I'm gonna make lore. I tell people like, oh, I'm thinking about it. No, I don't think, just to be blatant, I don't think I'll ever make lore, because if I make lore, it's not me. I like having me be pushed out and having my own personality in there. Because, you know, some people, which is totally fine, I'm not knocking anybody's gimmick or niche.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm a pirate from, because originally I was supposed to be a pirate. There's a little bit more of like I actually have the original art. I just don't have it on this computer. But arg, you know, I just got done sailing the 7 seas for 40 days, but I made sure I made my way back for stream. That's not me. I would break character instantly. You know, because a lot of my viewers, I call them my lovely little kittens or my babies. You know, a lot of times when they come in, we're talking about life, like, oh, I had to just do a shift, and I'm like, oh my god, I'll be on the floor crying if I was right now. I like, even when we're playing the video game, I'll be like, oh my god, that guy's so hot. I'll let him kill me right now. So I like having my personal self go through, and I personally hope and I feel that a lot of my viewers, they like that aspect about me, because sometimes I feel like I tone down for a lot of my streams, and I've been working on that.
Yeah.
I tone down a lot of my personality because I can be a lot more.
Sure.
I can be hyper. I can say a lot of more crazier things, and I have. So at times I'm just like, nope, let me ground myself. I can shine through, but it comes to a point where you have to know when you're being obnoxious, and where some people might be like, damn bitch, shut up. All right, you're doing way too much. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna bring it, reel it back in. And even sometimes you'll hear me on stream say like, oh no, I'm not gonna say that. And some people are like, what are you gonna say? Are you gonna say something that's gonna get you canceled? And I'm like, no, I was just gonna say something really silly, and you would have been like, how does that correlate? Because my mind goes to vast places. But
oh yeah. So
I think that's the best way to answer that.
Totally, for sure. And honestly, I think there is a degree of what's the word I want to use here? We do have to almost censor ourselves for lack of a better word, because I think like now there are creators out there who just go full blast, full send, and like I think because like I used to try doing that back when I was a face cam streamer for a couple years, and eventually like as I got older, it just kind of got harder to maintain that like gremlin screaming, borderline like a nuisance kind of creation. And like for me, I do try my best to be still higher energy, but not like munchkin screaming my arms around with a knife in my hand going yeah, and I think like for me the lore is only really here for the people who just want to know how the model itself was made. Like I could never be a full RP VTuber where I have to never talk about the IRL life, because like
I feel like that's hard too.
It's
like
so
there's
hard.
like I don't want to hear anything about. See, I just censored myself. I was gonna curse, but I don't want to hear anything about your real life. I just want to I need to be immersed. I'm sorry, but when I log off, I'm gonna go sit down and I'm gonna go drink a soda. Yep. Just like you're gonna go sit down and drink a soda. But that's dangerous, I feel like, to a certain extent, because they're not seeing you as human. And sometimes there's certain people that like they feel like they can treat you a certain way, or they can say certain things, or do certain things to you because they don't see you in that human aspect. No, I need you to know. I need to bring you back down to earth a little bit. I'm still human. We're still the same. We're still hanging out. You can't just treat people certain ways. And I feel like even where it comes to the online bullying, or like the online, the hurtfulness of it, I think sometimes it happens because they see you as an entity. They don't see you as a person.
Sure.
And I don't want that, so I'm gonna let you know I'm human.
No, honestly, and kudos to that, and I agree, because I think in a lot of ways too, it's kind of wild, because the YouTube algorithm is really weird when it comes to like how it pushes out certain types of people, certain types of content out there. And like for me, for example, I have this whole thing where I don't believe YouTube quote unquote discriminates against VTubers, because we are who we are. And like for me, I think that there are some times where it's like, oh, VTuber karaoke stuff, send that shit to the front page. Or oh, VTuber playing video game, bottom of the barrel, nothing happens with it.
For real.
Like I do believe
2 or 3
that
views.
2 or 3, god, mood. I think that there are a lot of times where to me, because I'm very fortunate to be a face cam usable content creator. I've had many days where I've had to debate, do I just go ahead and go back to doing face cam for a couple weeks just to get my audience back? Or because like I sometimes have these like weird things because I'm a male VTuber. I don't feel like I get, you know, pushed out enough because I think sometimes the algorithm favors, you know, female presenting models because, you know, the visual appeal of it.
Yeah, I can see that. I think if you know you're gonna do something, this is just my opinion. I feel like if you're gonna do something long term, just stick with what you're doing and try different tactics. Because if you go back to using just doing face streams or like your, you know, your skin persona, your personal self, you know, there's so many different ways I've heard it through over the years. When you get, let's say you go back to streaming with face cam and you get 1,000 followers off of it and there's 1,000 viewers watching you, you're not gonna go back to using that VTuber model. Let's just be honest. That's human nature. You're gonna keep doing your hair and getting your face together, and you're gonna sit in front of that camera and say, hey y'all, you know, and it's normal. I mean, if that's what works, kudos to you, you're gonna keep doing it. But if you know personally where your heart is and where you like to be is behind a model and you feel more comfortable, or you feel like personally you feel like you do better with the model, then don't step a foot out. Because I mean, just do what you like. Because after you do your face cam, let's say it doesn't do well, what now?
Yep. You
could have spent that time figuring out new ways to promote your VTuber model or your VTubing streaming. You know, you could have found new tags, new places, you know, new games, found new groups of people to collab with. Because let's be honest, collabing is fun, and I see it as a way to meet new people and enjoying people, but collabing is another way to promote. You're getting a further reach. You know, you're going to, I'm not saying you're poaching people. Don't be going nowhere to poach nobody, but you streaming with people. So, you know, whoever their viewers are, let's say their friends are looking over their shoulder and their friends might be like, well, who's that person? And they go back and they watch. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that goes into streaming, and there's a science to it.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I mean, you can't be afraid to get out there either, because for the long haul, of course, like I said, before I turned 18, I was just doing streams by myself. I wasn't collabing with anybody for that reason. And so, I mean, you do get to a certain point, but you feel stagnant because you're like, oh, well, I'm not really growing. Well, you're not really getting yourself out that much.
Yeah.
You know, you can only post clips so much.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, when I started collabing with people, you know, you grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, it might not be that fast, but you do see influx of people. So I mean, get out there.
Oh yeah. So like, in a way, so for you, if the algorithm started to notice one thing, like let's say, let me try to say it this right way. Let's say you start doing things on YouTube. If YouTube started blowing up, like let's say on YouTube you start getting 20 viewers every stream, but then on Twitch you get down to like 2 or 3 viewers on a stream. Would you willingly leave a platform to chase the success of another platform, or is one platform your home?
No, I wouldn't. You know that term, he knows where home is. Yeah. I don't believe in that. I wouldn't jump ship. I would just stream on both, because there are systems like Restream and stuff like that. There are stuff where you can stream on both, so you can still grow your Twitch. Because in your example, YouTube was blown up. You can still grow your Twitch while you're taking the initiative to keep growing and fanning the fire over on YouTube. So you can do both. There's always a way. I mean, even if research, that is my biggest thing. Please, my loves, if you're new, if you're old, if you're in the middle, if you kind of know, you don't know, you know, research, ask people, dare to be curious. You know, half the stuff I didn't know about making models and how to set up Streamlabs or OBS and how to make background. I didn't know how to do any of that because I make a lot of my stuff in house.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to figure that stuff out because one, I didn't have the money for it. Or if I did have the money for it, it was allotted for something else, you know? So you got to be a DIY queen. You got to figure it out.
For sure.
You got to figure it out. Or if you don't know, you got to find people who do. And you got to pay them to do it, which is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Some people aren't cut out for it.
And honestly, that's so good. I love that because it really is the difference between a hobbyist creator and a full-timer. It's just like they're willing to put effort outside of like the active content creation, like, you know, doing the research, doing the prep work, you know, because the prep work I think is what genuinely separates a lot of people away from the algorithm, because you get people out there who the only amount of effort they put into their videos is just record, unrecord, and then publish. And you can, of course, in my opinion, grow like that. Yeah. But I think, unfortunately, in today's atmosphere, we can't do the minimum anymore. Like, we have to put in the editing. We have to put in the effort to create more than just the raw footage as our content nowadays. And
because the industry is it's overflown.
It's overflown. There's so many people. The quality is required.
Yeah, there's tons of people in the industry. It's not like back in 2006 where like you could just publish a YouTube video and you can blow up overnight. Or it's not like Vine where like you could do a short little funny clip it and then just post it, and then all of a sudden you're a Vine star and you're famous and you're seen everywhere. It's not that simple. Oh, yeah. Especially after COVID, I would think, because there was such an influx. You got to come with some type of niche. You got to come with some type. If you don't have the humor or the personality, you got to come with some skill of, you know, your editing or whatever you're doing. You got to come up with a new, what is it called? A new thought process. Now, I'm a big believer in you don't have to invent the wheel. You just got to figure out a way to make it better or to recreate it in your own way. Yeah. But sometimes it is the best to go back to the drawing board and think of something new.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And you know, like, speaking from experience too, you know, one of the things that I see a lot of folks out there is like, you know, like, I have a lot of friends who sometimes come into my DMs saying, "Hey Nico, I noticed this has been really working for you. How can I make my videos better on YouTube?" And like, the first thing I tell every single one of them is like, make your bit rate better on your videos, because, you know, a lot of people are posting these videos that are like super blurry, super like the visual quality is not there. And then like on top of that too, you know, it comes back down again to the effort, where people are not putting a higher degree of effort into their content and they expect everything to blow up overnight. Because like, for example, you know, like you said, I can't record a Fortnite match that I won and then throw that on the YouTube. You have to throw in sound effects. You have to throw in compositions. You have to throw in, you know, cuts and all that. Like, it's so much more than what it was. And, you know, we were talking like very briefly before the show started about like, you know, the woes of learning to edit.
Oh yeah. I mean, editing, I find, and it's funny because I find editing the cooking vlog to be easier than editing the VTubing clips, and it's just my model bobbing. I mean, I'm editing out things in the background of my videos because, you know, you're in your kitchen, and it seems like on paper it's more strenuous, but editing for like a clip or editing a video for YouTube or TikTok, whatever it is, it can be a lot. You got to do voiceovers sometimes. You got to add the sound. Boom. You got to add the meme. You got to enhance, zoom in, zoom out. I mean, there's a lot because you have to make it enticing. Now, I can definitely say for the, what is it called? I can definitely say for the TikTok aspect, it's a little bit easier. I don't think you don't have to put that much thought in it, I don't think. Because sometimes I be posting clips that I thought were kind of lame, and they'll get like 1K views, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
But definitely on YouTube, you gotta show that editing game, because people will scroll right by. You gotta show that editing with that.
Because, oh yeah, like, because one of the biggest reasons why I think I'm a lot more enjoying my content creation is because I earned the right to have an editor for my YouTube stuff. And, you know, my editor and I have worked in a lot of projects over the past like year. And the difference with having someone who knows how to edit more than me, because like, unfortunately, my edits are as simple as cut, dead space, stitch together, done. Like, I might do like a zoom in or here and there. Like, I have some of the most like simplistic edits. And granted, I've learned also a lot more like programs that help me, you know, add automatic captions to my YouTube shorts. I have a program that, you know, reads a Twitch VOD and gives me 30 clips every VOD. Like, it just, the technology and the tools that are available are what are really allowing creators to have a better foothold in what we can, you know, dish out.
I definitely agree. I think everybody has their strong suit, because I help me and my siblings and my mom, we all work together in businesses. So, you know, right now I do his line art, my brother's line art and coloring for his work. So he edits, he's gonna start editing for me. So I'm like, yeah, you know, but not everybody has that luxury, and I'm thankful for it. But I mean, it comes down to the point of, are you open to learning, and you open to take the time? Because it is time. Honestly, I could learn to edit and I wouldn't need them, but I just don't want to do it. And it's that simple. I don't want to learn, and I don't want to do it at this point in time. I'm pretty sure I will. And I'm the type of person, when you're working, I'm going to watch you, so then I know how to do it for myself. But even with that, I have a couple other things I could be doing. So if you're doing that for me, I can happily walk off and do whatever I need to do.
Yeah. So
I leave it with you.
Hell yeah. So I like the fact that, like, you know, you have, it sounds like you have like a very like involved like creator / business oriented family in your creation. So like, do you feel like you get a lot of inspiration on like how you make your content from them, or is it kind of like a different thing? Hell yeah. My
mom, she is a romance writer, so I edit books for her. My brothers, they're in the content creating industry and other things, and so they started, because they're older than me, so they started out first. So a lot of the times, whatever they did, I would just do it too, but I would, wherever they had like faults or where I could see there was something better, I would just do it my way and better. Not to say that I'm better than them, but just to say that, you know, you learn. There's a trial and error, but luckily I didn't have to do the error part. And a lot of times, even when I do jack up, because I do, you know, you can call somebody over and be like, hey, how should I have done this to make it better? Or I'll even have them watch my videos and be like, before I publish it, what should I do? And they'll be like, add a sound here or enhance it there, you know? So there's a nice way to go about it. Even like social media, I learned a lot of my social media from my mom, because of course she has to post. So she told me, you know, on TikTok, you want to do portrait videos. You don't want to do the side, like the landscape, you know. There's tons of different things you learn, but something that I had to learn with working with family, or just like it could be taken with family, you know, business partners, friends, whatever. You have to be open to criticism. And you can't take it personal, and I still work on that, because when I was younger, if you told me you didn't like it, I said, damn, you hate me, damn, you just I want to just strangle you, how dare you say you don't like my stuff. I sat there for 3 hours. You can't take it personal. You're human, you're gonna mess up. So when somebody says, hey, I think you should tweak that, now you don't always have to take their advice, but you can still absorb it and be like, okay, well, I will take what you said, but I'm going to tweak what you said. And sometimes it comes out even better. So you got to be open to criticism and advice and keep it pushing.
No, honestly, like, and I love the fact that, you know, you just have the connection that you have with like your family, with like, you know, how they make content, how they make their own stuff. That's awesome. I love that. 10 out of 10. So cool.
Thank you.
Like for me, you know, I am probably the most social media used person in my entire family. My father hates it. My mother doesn't touch it. Everyone else in my family uses it for memes at best. And
Yeah.
you know, like for me, like I am the trendsetter for content creation with my family, and it's wild because, like, you know, sometimes it's just who you're involved with kind of helps inspire you to keep going. And you know, I don't have that many people who I can just DM, call, or text saying, hey, how do you make this better? Or how would you look at this from a viewer standpoint? And I think it's really cool to have like that resource, that connection.
Oh yeah, I know. I have a lot of friends that they text me, and I'm open if you want to send me anything in the future. But I have tons of friends where they'll send me something, and they'll be like, "Oh, what do you think about like this clip?" Or "What do you think about like what should I add to this art piece or something?" Or like when you do animations for TikTok or a short little like funny animation, what can make this funnier? I'm the first one to say, let me look at it. Give it to me. I want to see it because I love it. Just it comes to a point of, do you like creation? Do you like to create? Do you love to see things made? Because as we're talking, I just had like 5 different ideas pop into my head that I'm probably going to do in the next month or two. I mean, in certain ways, I feel like most of my anger when it comes to where it comes out is if I know I can't make what I think of. If I could not physically sit down or go to one of my family members or go to one of my friends or somebody I work with, and if I can't make it or have it made, I'm angry because it's like I have this idea, it has to come out. If I don't make the idea, somebody else is gonna do it, which is fine because there's nothing like you doing it yourself. It's never gonna be the same. But I mean, I want it done. Yeah, so a lot of the things I've learned, so even like the art, even animating, all the different stuff, it came out because I had an idea and I was mad that I couldn't find somebody to make it, or I didn't have the means to have somebody make it, so I'd force myself to do it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I feel like you do have to have that that oomph, that want.
So do you think, in your opinion, do you have the tools you need to be successful?
Yes. I'm not. Ooh, what's the best way to put this? I feel like I do. I'm very thankful for the things I have. I have computers in my access, or at my fingertips. I have electronics. I have internet. A lot of people, they say, "Oh, I can't do this because I don't have the stuff." Even having a phone, it doesn't even have to have data. You don't even have to have the phone connected, or you don't even have to pay for, what I'm saying? You don't even have to pay for like the monthly, so you can call and text. As long as you have Wi-Fi and a phone, you can create. It might not be what you want to create at that moment, but you can create something. And that's the best way to look at it. Because I remember when I didn't even have a computer, that it would literally take 30 minutes to load one page.
DSL.
And no, not ASL. It was like, that's just how slow the computer, my internet was.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not that old, but literally I was sitting there and I was just like, and even when I was making my first VTuber model, I was using that slow computer, and I was so dumb at the point because I was using Vroid. I didn't know that it had an English version. So I took my phone for 3 days and I used Google Translate, and I had to translate each individual word so I could make my first model, not knowing there was an English version. It was in the settings, which I figured out years later.
Oh my gosh.
So I was sitting there translating with this slow computer, taking forever just to make my first model. So I mean, if there's a will, if there's a want, you can do anything. I mean, you could go to your local library, because I used to do school at the library because I didn't have internet, and hop on their fucking computer and make that shit pop.
Hell yeah. Because like
post up in one of the library quiet rooms and record a video.
Hell yeah. Because like my follow-up question was like, if you had the ability to like give yourself an upgrade of something, like what would you upgrade to make yourself, in your eyes, more successful or more set up? Like, for example, like, would you think if you had like a higher quality computer, a higher access to higher quality software, or even like a new model, like what do you think you would want to upgrade for a better success?
I think, can I be honest with you?
Sure.
I would just upgrade my waiting screen.
You're starting a stream?
Yeah, that's how I would upgrade. Because I've had this idea for a new starting soon screen. I've had the idea for like the past 2 months, but I haven't. I'm working on the back end to get it done. That's literally it. I'm thankful and I'm happy for what the stuff I have. My computer runs, I have 2 monitors. I have a drawing tablet with the screen. I have the systems to play the games, or I have ways to get the games without the system. So I mean, I really don't need nothing else. I would just update. I mean, the model's fine. My stream setup is fine. I would literally just upgrade my starting suit screen, and then I'll be like, oh, it's perfect.
Hell yeah.
Or I would invest in, if I can do investment outside of just equipment, I think I would invest in, what's the word? An editor.
Yeah.
A full-time editor. I think I would invest in that.
Hell yeah. The funny thing is, like, I've learned to be very humbled on what I have equipment wise. Like, I think my model's good. Like, everything that I own stream wise is theme oriented and set just fine. And having earned my editor, who has become very integral to not only just my content creation, but also just like a really awesome person to have just in general. Because I love having someone who's not afraid to say, hey, I have an idea for a video, or hey, I think you could do this for an improvement. Just having like someone around you to say, hey, this is what I think you could do to be better. Like having someone to like, be honest and provide criticisms respectfully. Worlds around.
I think it's the best I guess it's the best way to put it. It's the people you want in your creation camp or in your circle are people that aren't yes men.
Yes.
Tell me when my work is shit. Tell me when I should do better. Tell me that I should just scrap the whole idea because it's been overdone. And yeah, I might have spent 4 days working on it, but tell me it sucks, or tell me a way to tweak it so it can be different. Don't just have me putting something out and you really hate it. And that's what I say to my family a lot. It's like, if you hate it, tell me. I'll recreate this whole video from scratch again. Just tell me where you like it and where you don't like it.
Do you think content creation is full of yes men?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think to a certain extent, because I think it's a lot of the things people put out, or like even controversial videos, where like somebody might come out because they fake something, or oh, you cut the clip, it really didn't do what you say it does. You're telling me your editor watched it, you sent it to your friend, you sent it to your mom to watch it, you sent it to everybody else. Heck, they could have watched it over your shoulder before you pushed post. You're telling me not one person told you, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, or hey, when you said that could be construed to make you look racist or make you look bigoted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You probably should add 5 more seconds to the end of that clip so they know you're not talking about these people. You're talking about the people in the video game. You know what I'm saying?
Context. Please.
Yes, there's context, because sometimes without context, now that can help you blow up, but that can also end your career straight out. So, I mean, you definitely don't need yes men. Or you got certain people where people do tell them, but they don't listen. And at the end of the day, you can only blame yourself because people tried to tell you.
Yeah, I think like that's the problem I've learned a lot of times, that I found a connection with hobbyist streamers and full-time creators. Like 9 times out of 10, most hobbyist streamers that I associate with are 100% yes men. Like they are not inept, they are incapable of telling you why they don't think a video or a stream is doing good. Because you know, like when anytime like I have like smaller content creators like come up to me and saying, hey Nico, I want to make a stream of this and that, how do you feel about it? I'll tell them straight up, like, brother man, you are not, there is nothing here, chief. There is like, your videos are blurry, the thumbnails aren't working, I can't read what you're doing, like there's no energy. Like it's one of those things where I'll happily play the villain if it means someone becomes a hero at the end of the day. You know, if I gotta be an asshole to tell you to rework your content and you look at your stuff differently, sure enough, I'll get it done. Because like right now, especially for people who want to be content creators, there's not enough people who are willing to be honest and true. Because like, just because you tell me my video's not good, I'm not gonna ruin a friendship from that, you know? If I ask you to tell me something good, I think it all depends on the person. Oh yeah,
because you'll have certain people where it's like you tell them how you truly feel, and it's all about delivery, of course. So you tell them, hey, I'm not really feeling it, you know. But some people might take that as a deep cut, or saying that you hate them, or oh my god, I always knew they were against me, you know. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, I see it as that's none of my business. That's something you got to work through.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody was trying to come for your kneecaps, but I mean, they're gone.
Not my Nico kneecaps.
I know, right? No. But I think even some people don't want to tell you how they truly feel, because some people just like to gatekeep.
Oh yeah.
Some people just don't want to tell you. Me personally, I don't care. If I know it and you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you. Even if you literally say to me, "Hi, I hope you're doing well," and then you go straight into, how do I make my videos more enjoyable? I tell you, and then you never text me again. Well, hopefully that moment that we spoke did well. You know, it's not always about what you can gain, or, oh, what are you going to do for me? You know, sometimes you just give people the information and they go on to their neck of the woods and you go on to yours. It's not the end of the world. I mean, sometimes there isn't going to be a, you scratch my back.
Oh,
you know? You just tell them the information. Don't always expect something back. Don't always expect them to, like, you know. One thing I like, I appreciate it, but at times I don't feel like it's needed, is, you know, when you're close with somebody and you stream together, and then when you pop in to say hi in their stream and they're like, oh, let's give them a shout out. I'm appreciated, and I appreciate the shout out, but I don't want people to think, oh, Grimalkin's only coming to my stream for a shout out. They don't care about watching my stream. They just want to be shout out so my viewers can see. You know what I'm saying? I've had like I had a conversation with somebody about that. But it's like, no, I was honestly watching your stream because I like watching your stream. You're the one who chose to do the shout out, which I'm thankful for. Don't make it seem like I'm not thankful. I'm thankful for it.
Oh yeah.
You know, so a lot of times I just lurk in a lot of my friends' streams and I just won't say anything because it's like, no, please don't.
Yeah, I've unfortunately kind of like, not necessarily taken a step back from shout outs, but like for me, I like to do shout outs if the context matches the person who comes into the stream. Like if I'm doing an art stream, I'll say, oh my god, here's my good friend Digivarelli, who is, you know, really badass artist, you know, boom, shout out. Like if you're in my stream, I'll recognize you and I'll say verbally, hey, another awesome streamer, what's up, Grim, and then go about my business, you know. Because like I know there are content creators out there, with respect, have this tendency to shout out every single streamer that shows up to the stream, and it's cool, it's awesome, but sometimes it
you put people in the
pacing.
limelight.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I think also too is I feel bad because certain times when I stream, I have no problem shouting people out. But when I'm playing the game, I'm not paying attention. And then after I watch the stream, I was like, damn, they shout me out when I went to their stream. I hope they don't think I don't like them or I'm being bitchy because I didn't shout them out during mine. But it's like, I really didn't think about it. So then I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know? So I'm trying to see, are we still cool? Are you thinking about, because I didn't shout you out on my stream. It's like, I know. I be getting mad at myself sometimes, but then it's like, it's all about perspective.
Oh yeah. No, and I think it's important to have like those mentalities to remember that, hey, people are going to show up to your stream no matter what it is, and not all of them are creators. And the reason why I've been doing this is because, like, you know, ever since I've started doing multi-streaming on YouTube, I've gotten hit with so many people where it's like, can I get a shout out? And like, there's nothing there. Like, there's no reason for me to do so. Like, people do poach, and people are so lazy with their content creation that they just go to streams and beg for empty subs. And it's not necessarily infuriating as a word, but it's just it's mind-boggling that they don't understand why I don't do shoutouts as much anymore. Just because if you're here in the stream, you're, for not to sound narcissistic, but you're here for the content that I'm creating, or at least you should be. And you know, I'll say hi to you verbally to recognize your existence.
Talk. Yeah,
exactly. You know, like to me, like a lot of times shoutouts just genuinely just derail the pace of my own streams. So like, I don't do it as much anymore. Now, granted, if my mods do it, sure, mods can do what they want if terms like the shouting out, you know, but like, I'm not gonna like stop everything I'm doing and spend 2 minutes shouting out a creator unless there's like a contextual reason why I want to, you know, put them in the limelight.
I think I have a different take on that. I don't think of it as stopping the stream or like derailing it, because a lot of times I stop and I like derail stream all the time, and I'm like, hey, have y'all tried this new Jamba Juice flavor? And we could be playing a darn horror movie, not horror movie, but like a horror game, got nothing to do with Jamba Juice. But I think the main times I shout out is if I've worked with a person recently, or if I'm about to work with them, or if somebody rated, of course, something like that. I think those are like the main things. Or if I just really been loving on somebody and I've been enjoying their content, I'll be like, oh my gosh, look who just popped in. They've been playing this game and I really like it. You guys should go see it. You know, I feel like it is like that. That's how I do a lot of my shout outs personally.
Yeah. And it's awesome to do. I think it's awesome to have just like and that's another thing really good about streaming, is like, it's the perspectives of how we present ourselves to our content creation friends, our audience. And you know, a lot of it is obviously, like we said earlier, you know, it's all perspective. But that's really cool. I love it. And I love having this show because, to me, the reason why I love, like, you know, getting away from my circle of people, or like, you know, meeting people from other circles, is just that, like, it's the conversations that I get to have, but also just the ability to, you know, gain additional perspectives. And I really do appreciate, you know, the fact that we've been able to have this, like, you know, just good, genuine back and forth conversation so far.
I love getting the different perspectives and seeing, you know, how everybody feels about certain things. I do enjoy it a lot.
Hell yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, as we're getting ourselves a little bit closer towards the end of today's episode, today's silver lining is talking about mostly the idea that streaming can also be not only it's a very long process, obviously, but it doesn't have to be done alone. And when it comes to like the idea about the algorithm, whether or not we're doing things for ourselves, the algorithm is there as a suggestive tool. It's not there to dictate how you make content or how you choose to genuinely, you know, make things as a person. You are allowed to make, if you want to make indie game content, become an indie game streamer. If you want to be an FPS streamer, be an FPS streamer. Do not blame the algorithm for the lack of... Do not blame the algorithm for your lack of motivation to make content, because the algorithm's there for you simply to get an idea of your next idea.
Nico, can I add something to that?
What you got?
I just had an idea. So if you're an indie streamer and you like, not like you're indie, but if you like streaming indie games, reach out to indie game creators. I did a segment where I did indie demo stream, and I made a post on Blue Sky, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. And I was like, hey, tell me about some indie games and demos that really good, or a game you've made. That's a good way to promote and to boost your following too, because sometimes a lot of indie creators will post that you're playing their game. So that's another way to get a lot of visibility if you're playing indie games, because sometimes it's hard to get visibility when you're streaming indie games. But if you're doing stuff like that, or sometimes you don't even gotta reach out to people, you're just going on Steam and you're playing indie games. A lot of times if you're tagging the artists in your clips, or you're tagging the stream saying we're playing these people's games, that's a good way to promote. So even the small things, there's tons of ways. Just think of outside the box ideas.
Oh yeah, outside the box is the best way you can genuinely just get yourself out there. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone who's watching here today's episode, just remember that like the algorithm's there, it's never gonna go away. Content creators have the power to create for themselves, and content creators have the ability to grow as they see fit. And depending on how you do it, you can grow overnight, or you can go through the long haul. It changes every single day. We're here for the long game. We're here for the fun time.
Oh yeah.
And Grim, before we officially close off here today, go ahead and remind today's listeners and anyone watching the VOD here today where they can find you and what you stream.
Alrighty, thank you for having me. I am Grimalkin Bastet. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, TikTok, all of them. You can find some sort of creation of mine on there. Grimalkin Bastet, the same on all platforms. And I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day.
Hell yeah. No, so guys, as always, so thank you guys for tuning in to another glorious episode of The Silver Lining. This has been me, Nico Silverado, and our wonderful guest Grim. Adios, sayonara,
Bye-bye,
and goodbye.